So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. We won another game yesterday. We are clean sheet FC now, back-to-back clean sheets this year. Start as you mean to go on. Although yesterday, that was hard work in the first half and we made Leeds United look like a prime Barcelona. Listen, they're a very good football team, but we didn't turn up in that first half. It was a first half that basically we just sat back and just let them do what they wanted to do. But you know, I was watching the game on TV, and Danny Murphy, the other commentator whose name I can't remember now, Gary Lineker, Jermaine Beckford, it was just a Leeds United fest. And listen, whilst I think that Leeds United are a decent team, and I do want them to come back to the Premier League, they were always part of the Premier League when I was growing up in secondary school and afterwards. But you know, they've fallen from grace. They've got a massive following. They brought 8,000 fans to the ground last night, which is pretty damn relentless. But when I was watching that last night, it was just a Leeds United love fest. And it was like, okay, yeah, cool. They've played great football, but it's 0-0 at half time. And this is the reason why they didn't get promoted last season, Leeds, is because, yeah, they played tippy-tappy, pretty football. They were going on about this Bielsa like he's the best manager that's ever managed a football team. Again, a very good manager. But what they should have been doing, in my opinion, is, look, Leeds United, they've had all these chances. They haven't scored a goal. Arsenal have dug in. They were gritty. They hung on in that first half after not playing well. And we came out in the second half after Mikel Arteta gave them a rocket. And we've come out and we've put a wicked display in the second half to the point where they only had 3 shots. Now, in the first half, they had 15. And yes, they did rip us a new one. That was a combination of them playing really well and us just not bothering. We just walked around the pitch like we were lost. It was like watching the latter days of Unai Emery. You know, it was kind of embarrassing in that first half. But sometimes these commentators, I swear, and there was a point where Danny Murphy was almost gutted when the ball went out of play in the last minute of extra added time. Sorry, it was like, oh God, it was like, oh, they're not going to score now, and the quicker they freshen it up and get rid of some of these dinosaurs on these shows, the better. But anyway, less of that. The reason I sort of brought up last night's game is because in the match programme, Aubameyang actually put a statement out there. He's obviously the club captain, as we know, and we're one of 4 captains now. We did have 5. We've now got 4. But he put a statement out there, and he actually said this in reply to some of the rumours that are going around about him. He said, people like to make up stories and they should focus on what's happening on the pitch. They talk too much and it does my head in. I am the Arsenal captain. I love this club and I'm committed to it and desperate to bring it back to where it belongs. Now, Mikel Arteta then went on after the game. He said the work he is putting in, his attitude around the place with the players. So I hope that we can do that and sign him up to a new contract. He was then probed a little bit more. He said Aubameyang's put it all to bed. I do it as well. I want him here and I'm happy with him. So hopefully that's the end of the story. Now, like I said, all these rumours that go around every single transfer window, some of them are true, some of them are not true. Some of them will be leaked by agents. Who knows? Aubameyang's agent might have put the stories out there. They're obviously negotiating a deal with Aubameyang at Arsenal, maybe putting a couple of stories out there. G's Arsenal up into saying, well, there you go, there's another 60 grand a week or 80 grand a week or 100 grand a week, whatever. And a lot of it is from the agents of these players. Some of it is from the players' family, friends, stuff like that. They leak a few bits of information and all of a sudden, bang, it blows up into a massive story. Some of it is true. And this is the thing that makes me laugh is like when it's positive news, i.e. Mikel Arteta coming to Arsenal, everyone goes, oh, yes, that's true. It's a true story. Yes, Arteta. Arteta then becomes the manager. So them stories were then true, weren't they? But when it's negative and it's our star man leaving the club and the same journalists are reporting that, oh, no, that's not true. It's fake news. Well, you can't have it both ways. Yeah, at the end of the day, I go through the transfer news every day. I look at the transfer news. I then give you my spin on it. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's false. What I am saying is I'm going to give you both sides of it. You can't have one story being true and then it coming true and it happening, because that's a positive for the club and you believe that as an individual. But then when it's something completely negative and your star man may leave the club, you can't then have it the other way where, oh no, that's fake news. Well, it's fake news because you don't believe it. Well, it's written by the same journalist that wrote the stories that were positive news that you believed. Do I think Aubameyang will leave? I'd say if I was to put money on it, probably not. Not in January. In the summer, I could see him leaving. And if the deal doesn't get renewed, if he doesn't sign up to a new contract very soon, then the club have every right to flog him. At the end of the day, he is our investment. We're paying him a hell of a lot of money to play for this football club, and they've got to look after their investment. He's down into the final year or two of his contract, and we can still command a big transfer fee for him. So whether it's true or not remains to be seen. But at the same time, if he doesn't sign a new contract this month, I'd get rid in the summer, because we can't have another situation where Alexis and Ozil, for example, run down their contracts and we had to panic into getting rid of one of them. We can't do that anymore. We're a massive football club, regardless of where we sit in the Premier League. We're a huge, huge football club, and we need to start acting like that. And if that means that, sorry, mate, you ain't signed a new deal, there's the exit, thanks for the goals, see you later, then so be it. You know, we see last night that Martinelli came on. Again, he was absolutely fantastic. Aubameyang and Lacazette are not the be-all and end-all of this football club. Life will go on after them. Yes, it's great having them both at the club. It's fantastic the amount of goals Aubameyang especially scores, but they're not going to be here forever regardless. So, you know, sometimes you just got to look at it and say, right, as a football club, he's worth X amount of money if we flog him. We're paying him X amount to stay. He wants X amount to stay for longer. Is it worth paying the extra amount, or is it worth cashing in on him, doing some of that money on another position on the pitch and putting Martinelli up front or Lacazette up front or having both of them up front? And that is the problem that the club have. They have to make that decision. And it's not an easy decision, let's be real. He is a fantastic goal scorer. But let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section. Do you think he will leave in January, firstly? And secondly, do you think he will sign a new contract? So if you think he'll leave in January, leave that in the comment section. If you think he'll sign a new contract, also leave that in the comment section. Now, we're going to move on to Adrien Rabiot, another one that we were linked to all summer. Now, he's come out with a little statement. He's come out and basically quashed the reports a lot. He's saying that I worked a lot. I joined Juventus, and I think 2020 could be a positive year for me. I feel good physically. I follow the work that the coach tells us to do, and I feel good here. I'm at the team's disposal. I have no problem which side of the pitch I play. He then went on to say on the right or on the centre of left, whilst on the left. Don't quite know what he meant by that. I think he's basically saying whether I play up front, in the centre, whether I play left or right. He put, I have a better opportunity to shoot if I'm on my left, but what's important is how useful I am for the team. The Italian league is not easy, but no championship is. I'm adapting and I'm learning about the characteristics of the tournament. Now, this is a guy for me that he had about 6 or 7 clubs looking at him, and he went to the one that paid him the most signing on fee and the best wages, which is well within his rights, by the way. I am knocking for that one bit. At the end of the day, it's a short career. Why wouldn't he go for the most money? And let's be honest here, Juventus are a bloody good team. So why wouldn't he go there? At the same time, I believe that he's unhappy where he is because he's hardly playing. You know, he's not featured that many times. Same as Aaron Ramsey, really. You know, they've got a lot of decent midfielders there. Is he decent enough for Arsenal? I don't think he is. Yeah, he's decent enough for Juventus. People might say, well, Juventus are a bigger team. They're a better team. They're a title-winning team, whatever. Me, personally, my opinion on Rabiot, not good enough. I think he's a bit of an arrogant so-and-so. And I think that the fact that his mother, I believe, was his agent and he sacked her kind of sums up where we're at with this guy. I hope he stays at Juventus. I don't want him anywhere near Arsenal Football Club. But you let me know what you think. I'm going to talk about one more player, and that's Eddie Nketiah. Now, he didn't play last night. If he had played, we then couldn't have loaned him out. because you can't play for 3 teams in one season. He didn't play last night. I believe that means he'll be loaned out. I think that'll probably be wrapped up in the next week or so, maybe even by the end of this week. He's got Nottingham Forest, Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol City after him. And he can take his pick. It's now down to Arsenal to pick which team and down to Eddie to pick which team, because he went to Leeds United. It didn't quite work out for him, although he did well, but he just didn't get enough game time. Now what Arsenal need to do and what Eddie needs to do is sit down with the club, the 3 clubs that are involved, and say, right, who's playing me week in, week out? Because if he ain't playing week in, week out, might as well stay. Because what's the point? You're not developing as a player. You're not developing at the club you're going to help us in the long run, whether that be to get a bigger transfer fee for him when we come to sell him, or whether that be to develop him into playing first-team football for Arsenal. But I do think that deal will get done fairly quick. Within the next 7 days, I reckon that'll be wrapped up to wherever it is he's going. Leave that in the comment section as well. Would you keep him at the club or would you loan him out? In fact, would you even sell him? Leave that in the comment section down below. I will be back later with my streams as per usual, 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Don't forget, follow my social media accounts. They're all in the description. So until 5 o'clock, don't forget, subscribe, like and share as well. I'm out of it. Laters, peeps.